I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm
And
Jalene.
guess what we like to do?
We love to fast.
That's Today's episode is going to be all about OMAD, which is
One meal a day.
all right. And I'm going to ask a bunch of questions to Jalene because she's been doing OMAD for a long time.
Pretty
And
much
she,
since 2021 in November, I've been
goodness
doing OMAD.
gracious, goodness
Yeah,
gracious.
just
All
my
right.
lifestyle.
So if you've never tried OMAD fasting before, or you're just curious about it, this may be the episode that starts you in the right direction. So before I give you a question, I want to make a point, and that's that when we say one meal a day, we don't mean one meal that you sit down and eat in 20 minutes time.
Yeah, that's actually called one plate a day. And a lot of people confuse the one.
I've never heard that before. One plate a
Yeah,
day.
Jen doesn't really talk about it because it's not part of her
Yeah.
program. But in the intermittent fasting world outside of like Jen's community, a lot of people do one plate a day.
Okay. I'm gonna throw out something here, and I'm gonna give a shout out to Wendy, because if you're on this group or if you're on Jalene's group and you're not on Wendy's group and you want to do OMAD, you really should subscribe to her group, and I'm going to put a link up to it there, and a link will be in the description, of course. But Wendy, it's her thing to take a picture of her feast every day. And if you look at her pictures and her descriptions, you'll understand that it's like sometimes a 4 or 5, maybe even a 6-course meal that's spread out over 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever.
It's so funny that you said that, because that's exactly what I was thinking about saying today is everybody should follow Wendy.
Great
And
minds think alike.
Her pictures like really show that intermittent fasting is not restrictive.
Yes.
Like, we can eat quite a bit and, healthy food. But it's not a restrictive diet. It's not this little tiny plate of food and then we're done. And she posts pictures every day. And I know that she does because I went to Vegas with her last summer, and she did it while we were in Vegas.
Yeah.
She took a picture of all of her food and posted it.
Yeah, she is, that's her thing. And like I said, if you're not a member of her group, you should be, because that will help you with your OMAD.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. So now what we've defined what OMAD is, that it's not one plate a day, but it's one meal a day, and that can have multiple courses. How do you, Jalene, structure your eating window? I mean, like, not the length of it, but the time of day. What works best for you and why?
Do you want me to start from the beginning and how, when I first started, how I structured it until now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I started with an 8-hour window back in 2021. And the reason I did that is because I was coming from a really serious case of diet brain. I'd gone from 2020, where it was no restrictions at all, lots of Uber Eats and just eating whatever I wanted. I didn't have a scale out. It was 2020. None of us were really paying attention to at least I wasn't paying attention to what I was eating. So after 2020, I started doing Weight Watchers, which is, I feel like, really, really low calorie, really, really restrictive. And when I found Jen, it really resonated with me that it was a lifestyle and not a diet. And so I wanted to have an 8-hour window so I didn't feel like it was restrictive in the beginning. But when I look back on it, it was really still one meal a day, but just spread out over 8 hours. And I would open around, I don't have great records because that was also tricking my brain into diet. So yes, yes. I just put my name in it. I put clean fasting Jalene.
Well,
And I put it my
listen, just a quick shout out. Uh, I started with, I think it was the Life app. I think that was
Mhm.
the first app that I downloaded, and I was tracking all of this stuff, and then
Yeah.
they just stopped the app,
You lost
and
all that
all
information.
my stuff was gone. But
Mhm.
you know what? I can't lose it here.
Yeah, it's forever. So I tried the apps and the apps really triggered my diet brain. This is something that I will find very useful. I'm going to start it on Sunday because I like to start like the beginning of the week. I
Well,
consider Sunday the beginning of the week.
hey, Ginger, good to see you. um,
So I started with an 8 hour window and I would open around, I want to say between 9 and 10. And I would
mhm,
start with just something small like veggies and hummus. And then a few hours later, I would have a salad. And then a few hours after that, I would have more of like the main meal.
mhm.
And then a few hours after that, is that too many? Maybe an hour after that. If I was still hungry, I would have like a little dessert, like berries and cream or yogurt and berries,
Okay,
something
so
like that.
so fast forward,
Mhm.
and what does your window look like now? Time of day, blah blah blah.
So now I open up between 11 and 2. It really just depends on how I'm feeling. I really listen to my body. If I'm at work, sometimes I'm not hungry and I can just fast all the way until the kids leave at 12:30 and then I'll open at 1. But sometimes they start eating their lunch between 10:30 and 11 and I let them tell me when they're hungry. When they're hungry, that's when we sit down to eat.
Okay,
Um,
but now people need to realize that you're not in a weight loss protocol right now. You're in maintenance,
yes, yes, this is
and
true.
so maintenance OMAD is going to be different than in some respects than a weight loss OMAD.
Hmm. It's possible. Yeah, I still have, now I have about a 5 hour window, 4 to 5 hours. Um, but I just don't have a specific time that I have to open and close. I don't track my fasting. Sorry, my phone's doing pop-ups. I don't track my fasting hours as much as I track my window. So if I open up at 10, it's usually open 4 to 5 hours and then it's closed. If I open up at 1, 4 to 5 hours and then it's closed.
Okay.
That's how I do it. And I still do one meal a day. I still start with, veggies and hummus, or sometimes I'll have, I love
Yeah,
beans.
yeah,
I'll have,
yeah.
I'll have like beans with a little bit of cheese and some veggies. I always open with something kind of small and then eat my meal a couple hours later.
Okay. Moving on.
Okay.
What is the toughest part about sticking to OMAD for you? Or is it just simply so automatic that you don't even hardly have to think about it?
It's so automatic, I don't have to think about it. It's pretty easy. I very rarely get hungry after I close my window. I mean, it has happened, but it's not a common
Hmm.
occurrence. Um, it just it just feels good. And if I have my window open for too long and I eat too late in the day, then I don't sleep as well. I like to have my window closed by 4 and then I sleep
Last
great.
last night, uh, we had finished our meal, and I went to bed, and then for some reason I just absolutely could not go to sleep. I don't know why. It was one of those
Right.
weird days. I got back up, and went back in the living room, and Vicky, she always goes to bed after me, and she was sitting there with the dogs, and she was getting ready, and she said, "You know what?" She said, "I'm starting to get hungry. I think I just need to go on to bed." So,
Yeah.
so that's how she combated that hunger after, you know, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Yeah, you just go to bed if you have to. But
Yeah. Sometimes I'll drink some just warm water and that helps. It
yeah.
helps me.
Now there are people now who pair their OMAD with keto. There's some who do vegan,
Mhm.
vegetarian, uh, but you don't do that, do you?
No, not when I first started, I was a little bit more low carb than I
Mhm.
am now. I've been grain free for, gosh, I want to say 10 years. I don't have an allergy to grains. I have a sensitivity. And so I stopped eating all grains, including rice and oats and corn, pretty much everything. So I had been grain free. So, I mean, that's technically kind of low carb. I was never keto, but since I've been a faster, the last year or so, I've been experimenting a little more with bringing some grains back. And sourdough works okay. Corn makes me puff up. My eyes get super puffy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And when I discovered I had this grain sensitivity, I had a lot of like skin rashes and just digestion issues, just a lot of things going on. And
Okay.
when I eliminated the grains, it really, really, really helped. But
Vicky,
I wouldn't say I'm low carb because I do
yeah.
eat potatoes.
Mhm.
But I do have to be careful.
Now, Vicky, she makes her own bread for the most part, and she makes a whole wheat with flaxseed and different things like that, and it's good and healthy. And I think a lot of the problems with bread and grain are the way the bread is made,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
especially if it's got all the preservatives and all that junk in it, you know.
yeah. And there's a lot of what is it, glyphosate?
Glyphosate.
Round, yes,
Oh,
yeah. So that's definitely an
a
issue. So I
horrible,
try to
horrible
avoid,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah,
I try to avoid bread.
yeah.
Unless I know who's made it. There's a local shop that I buy my sourdough from. It's like
Hmm.
triple fermented. I'm really not sure what triple fermented means, but it seems to work okay, but it's $17 a loaf.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I do it like once every couple months because
Okay.
I'm a school teacher. I can't afford that.
Yeah. Triple fermented, I don't understand that either. I
Yeah.
understand fermented, but not triple.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. I want
Okay.
I want to talk about some NSVs for OMAD. Okay. And some of these are not really going to apply to OMAD as much as they do the others. The first thing is insulin sensitivity improving and getting away from insulin resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so tell me about insulin resistance and insulin sensitivity and how that's going to help people.
Well, when we're constantly spiking our insulin, we're storing fat. It's the storage, um, what's the
Storage hormone.
hormone? Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So when we can stop those insulin spikes, then we are able to tap into our fat and use our own fat as fuel.
Yeah. And you do not want to remain insulin resistant for the rest of your life.
No,
And
it's.
fasting is going to break that.
Did you
Um,
get your fasting insulin tested yet?
Not yet.
You got to
I
do
don't.
it.
I know.
I can't wait to see the number
When I
because you want to see your number and you want to watch it go down.
yeah,
That's the fun part.
it's in April. In April is our every 6 month GP visit. So
Okay.
I'll have it done there. When she submits the request for my blood work, I'm going to tell her, hey, I want the
Okay.
fasting insulin in there,
I just had
and she will.
mine tested 2 months ago, and mine's right now at a 6, and which is good. A 5 or below is optimal, so I'm getting close.
Good.
So, but insulin goes up and down. It's like
Yeah.
glucose. So you can get it tested, and then an hour later it could be up or down. And I know this because I had my endocrinologist and my doctor both ordered the same test.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in to get blood work. So I had 2 different doctors ordering tests. So I got it tested twice. And the first one was 6.4, and then the second one was 6. So that shows that it goes, and that was only a couple minutes difference,
Now,
you know, from the first to the second.
I'm looking down here at the list of the people who are watching, and Leslie Pendergrass is watching. And she has just entered into fasting here recently. She's been a long time friend back from my high school days. But at any rate, she is just all fired up because her glucose levels are just, they've come right on down.
I saw that. That's so exciting.
Yes. And
congratulations, Leslie.
Yeah, I love seeing stuff like that happening. Mm-hmm. So the insulin sensitivity and the glucose levels and all of that. Yeah. Now, here's something that a lot of people don't realize. When you're fasting, especially in the mornings, you've got more mental clarity and focus. You're able, and that's due to the ketosis. That's because you're overnight, your glycogen and all of that has been used up by the liver. Yeah. Because people need to understand, when you're sleeping, you're still using energy. Your body, the breathing, the heart beating, turning over, you're still using energy, so that glucose is getting used up and you're switching over to ketosis. Mm-hmm. And ketosis, man, your brain loves those ketones. And so we have better mental clarity and focus. Now, here's something that's really cool. It's a non-scale victory, and it has to do with OMAD. And I like this one. And that's the simplicity and the time saving, because one meal means you have less to plan, less to cook, less to clean up. And it's a minimalist's dream come true.
And it saves you money too. Oh, yeah. Right?
Instead of using 3 paper plates a day, you can cut down to 1 paper plate a day.
Oh, that's funny.
But you can do this next one with OMAD, but mostly this next one comes in when you go for a longer fast, like a mealless Monday or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that's the autophagy boost. Mm-hmm. Because autophagy really doesn't kick in until like almost 20 hours in to your fast. That's when your body starts healing itself. So you can get some of that with OMAD, but not on the level that you're going to get with like a mealless Monday for a 36-hour fast, but you're still going to get some of it.
I feel like if I need like some super healing, that's when I'll do a mealless Monday.
Yeah.
If I feel like I'm starting to get sick, I feel way better when I'm sick if I do a longer fast. Well, I know not everybody does, but I can feel the healing. Like I can go to bed with a sore throat and then do a longer fast, and it's almost always gone.
Well, the old saying is starve a cold and feed a fever. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If you have a cold, fast.
Yeah, because it works for me.
Yeah, you'll kick yourself into autophagy and it'll take care of that thing. Mm-hmm. Now, the last thing that I have on my list for OMAD, and this for sure will do it, because when you're doing OMAD, you're giving your digestive system a rest every day. Yeah. Every day it's getting a rest. The first thing to get a rest is your stomach. Then your duodenum gets a rest, and then your small colon gets a rest, and then, you know, everything gets a rest. Uh, and that creates a wonderful scenario because your gut starts to just fall into place. The
Mhm.
benefits of your gut health by fasting are tremendous. And especially if you eat a fermented thing sometime during your meal, like I love the kimchi, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I do a fermented kraut almost every single day.
Yeah.
And it just I love the way it tastes, and it just feels good too. I do have to say, although it's recommended to do a 4 to 5 hour window for OMAD, now that I'm in maintenance, there are some days where I'll just have one pretty good sized meal and then I'll be done. And that's because I'm in maintenance and I know how much food my body needs now. Um, so occasionally I'll do, a meal within like an hour or so, but it's not recommended often because that can slow your metabolism. And I've seen people come into the community because I've been part of the community, 4 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen people come in and they come in hot. And I did too. Like I think we all did in the beginning. We're so
I
excited we see
did.
it working. And they do these really, really, really short windows because they want to avoid like the glucose insulin spikes. They do one meal and they're losing a ton of weight and then all of a sudden they stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then they even start to gain back because they're over restricting. So that's why one meal a day it's not recommended to do in such a short window. Occasionally it's okay. That's what
So
Jen said. Occasionally.
I'm almost to the point where I want to stop saying OMAD.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start
Yeah.
saying I want to start saying OFAD.
Ooh.
One feast a day.
Ooh, I like that. We need to trademark that.
Yeah, maybe I'll put that in my book. You know,
Please. I
my
like that. It just sounds kind of fabulous
my
too.
book is up to almost 200 pages now.
Oh, you are such a go-getter, Mike.
No,
I mean, how fast did you write this?
oh well, that was easy. that that took maybe a couple of hours sitting in front of a PC, you know, and doing that and putting that together. And, you know, I hope people catch on to that. And yeah, I make a little bit of money off of it, but it's nothing that's going to throw me into the Elon Musk category. That's for sure. I know
You're doing it to help people.
I am
Yeah.
because I believe that it helps. Like I said, I lost all my information when the Life app crashed, and
Mm-hmm.
and I got disheartened with apps. And the only time I use an app now, I don't use. I'm like you. I don't use an app for OMAD. I could care less. I know when to open my eating window and when to close it. But the only time I'll use an app now is when I'm doing like a mealless Monday, or if I want to go to 42 hours or something like that. And I just like tracking that time.
Yeah.
But
I'm not against apps at all. I know
mm,
that they're so helpful to
well,
people,
some
just
people,
not helpful to my crazy brain.
yeah,
It makes my brain because I want to beat it. I want to beat my time. If I have to write things down, I always want it to be better. And I even did a CGM experiment last summer, the summer before. I don't know. I did a CGM experiment and it gave me the worst case of diet brain. I
mm,
wanted my number to just keep going down, 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 down. And Alan was like, this is too much.
okay.
You're acting.
Define CGM for those who are
Oh,
wanting to
it's
know.
a continuous glucose monitor. So it's like
Okay,
you see people with the little sticker here,
yeah,
and it shows their glucose going up and down. And I just wanted mine to get lower and lower and lower and lower. And it just wasn't good for my brain. So.
yep. Well, all right, let's wrap this thing up, and I'll make the edits to it and put it on the YouTube channel, and then everybody can see it anytime they want to. It's been wonderful. It's been too long.
I know. I missed you.
It's been too long. And I miss Daniela today. And for those of you who are wondering, Daniela, she had some family issues that she had to take care of. And we told her that that's okay. We'll just go ahead and she'll be with us next time, maybe.
Yeah, we should have Roxy again too. That was really
goodness.
fun.
That was really good. Maybe we can have all four of us.
Ooh, that would be fun.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.